not, there, he isn't, the TV is not quite ready.
There we go.
There we are. Welcome to the Goffstown Conservation Meeting. This is the, let's see, is this December meeting? And we hope to go on record to have the shortest meeting tonight ever, so. Let's see, we have to see who all is here.
You gotta read.
Yep, so, do I have to, I have to read this thing first. The Right to Know Law Meeting Checklist. So, as the acting chair of the Goffstown Conservation Commission, due to the COVID-19 outbreak and in accordance with Governor Sununu's Emergency Order 12, number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this commission is authorized to meet electronically. Please note there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are, 1, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. Conservation Commission is utilizing a telephone conference line for this electronic meeting. The public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following telephone number: 603-766-5646, and using the participant code 785645, followed by the pound sign. Number 2, providing public access notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. The town previously gave notice to the public of how to access the meeting using the available telephone number with the posted agenda. Number 3, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem with the telephone access, please call 603-660-5000. Number 4, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event that the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled at another time. Please note that all votes that are to be taken during the meeting shall be done by roll call. So, let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance. If you wish, is this pressing number 9 is for the,
If someone was listening that wasn't a butter, I don't have any butters on, but they would press *9 if they wish to speak.
okay, fine. All right. Okay, so roll call, Jean Walker,
Here.
Amy Polak,
Here.
Chuck Freiberger,
Here.
David Neiman,
Here.
Susan Tucker,
Here.
Collis Adams,
Here. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight. I came down with a head cold last night, so I figured I would stay home.
Nobody wants to see you with a head cold. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And
Yes.
Andrew Chaplin,
Here.
and Evelyn Miller here, and
Patty Gale, staff.
okay, I think we have more than a quorum, so we can go on with the first and only thing on our agenda. Could we please please state your name?
Rick Wilhelmi,
Presentation.
Director of Parks and Recreation for the town.
Okay.
And I'm here tonight to discuss the need for us to have a expedited minimum impact permit filled out. To give you a brief history and then a little bit of what the project is. In 2019, the Board of Selectmen actually developed a Glen Lake ad hoc committee. And that committee's charter was basically to take the town properties that border the lake and review them for needs, improvements, and various other other things, you know, are things in line. And the area that we looked at was the Glen Lake waterfront, the Parks and Recreation building, and the sewer commission, the sewer area up the street on East Union. And then there was a section of, on Mill Street that kind of leads down below the dam. So the group kind of took all those locations, they had various meetings, they had some public input, and then they made some suggestions. The suggestion that they came up with behind the recreation building, this is the location behind the recreation area, the asphalt road that goes down to where the emergency access is for fire apparatus. That area has become a very populated area for entering the lake via, you know, with your canoe, kayak, even public swimming, and fishing. So they looked at that area, and it's getting very washed out on a regular basis, and it's hard to maintain. So we looked at it and came up with an idea to put in a natural stone staircase that'll go down into the water. And then also put on the sides, put some riprap down in there. So that recommendation was made. We later found a group, the Granite State Health and Fitness Group, to actually donate the whole project, labor included, stairs, everything, to the tune of $5,000.
Oh,
The select board approved that a while back, 3-4 weeks back, and so now here I am to tell you a little bit. The bottom line is what this will do is this will actually enhance that area. It'll meet the goals of the Glen Lake Waterfront Ad Hoc Committee. It'll enhance the ability to get in and out of that water in a safe area. It'll also help and aid in the water flow that's rushing down there, so it'll help filter that water, stop some of that water, slow it down. So the water quality will be improved with this feature being added. That's basically what I got. I don't know, any other questions?
okay. Are there any questions about this plan?
Can I just, Rick, that was a great presentation. Can I just embellish a little bit on it?
Sure.
So the minimum impact expedited application is for a shoreline stabilization project because it's severely eroded there, and because it's degrading water quality by runoff coming down there and depositing sediment and everything else into the lake. So we thought, well, if we're going to stabilize the shoreline, why can't we incorporate an access as part of the project? So it's really a shoreline stabilization project with some of the stabilization being used as steps to allow access into the lake. So it's just to elaborate a little bit.
Well, that's great.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Amy. I have just the 11 by 17 in front of me, so I'm only able to, I don't know if there's other documents, but with the plan and the cross-section, it looks great. I think that would be great to have real access down to it. I just have a curiosity question, how this would stand up to, any severe flooding or anything like that, which, we have severe floods. Some things you just can't, you lose stuff. I was just curious if there's any design that you can state, like, yeah, this is designed in such a way it'll withstand certain types of flooding or raising of Glen Lake, etc.
Rick,
Go ahead.
you want me to just?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, please.
So you folks know, I have been designated as the authorized agent for the town to submit the application for the permit. And Amy, to get to your point, this is in the impounded area, so there is no water flow to speak there. Again, it's a static water situation. It's not a dynamic situation where you've got water flowing through there that would subject any of the work to the dynamic forces of river flows. So basically, the work will be done at drawdown in the dry, and then when the water comes back up, the water level will raise, and it'll come back up to its normal operating level. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Can you note too that Andrew's the voting alternate?
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. We have to mention that Andrew is our voting alternate tonight.
This is Susan Tucker.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'd like to move the question and say we approve this expedited application for the Parks and Rec.
Okay, well, let's see.
Gene Walker will second.
Okay, but are there any other discussion on this? Okay, then the motion is, so we should count on the.
So it's a second, so now you do a roll
We have a
call
second, no, I know,
vote.
so now we're gonna have a roll call vote on this motion to accept it. Gene Walker,
Yes.
Amy Polak,
Yes?
Chuck Freiberger?
No.
No, okay. David Neiman,
Yes.
Susan Tucker,
Yes.
Andrew Chaplin,
Yes.
and Evelyn Miller, yes. All right, so I think this motion passes, and I
Oh,
am,
you don't, I'll take the second hour sign after, okay.
so I think I'm to sign it,
Yeah,
will,
you can,
I'll,
or You can do
okay,
it after
yeah,
too.
I'll do it
'cause I'm gonna
afterwards.
have Kathy sign it.
Okay, so next on our agenda is the correction of the minutes.
You're good.
Do I have anybody, is there any objection? I'll have to wait and sign
No,
that, but
that's
you're
fine.
all set.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
It was a nice presentation, thank you. All right, we're going on to the minutes. Does anybody have any thing to say about the minutes?
Yeah, I do. This is
Yep.
David.
Yep.
On page 12 of 13 at the bottom,
Okay,
it said that they had a site walk on the beginning of the month from the Farm Committee. That should be ARM, A-R-M. Might as well write it out, Aquatic Resource Mitigation Committee.
That's
okay.
funny.
Any other
Good
correct,
catch.
any other corrections?
That's all I had.
All right. Do you want to make a motion to accept the minutes with the corrections?
So
I'll make the
moved,
motion.
Susan Tucker.
Second, David.
Okay. All right, roll call. Gene Walker,
Yes.
Amy Polak,
Yes?
Chuck Freiberger. Chuck, were you here for that, those minutes?
Chuck?
All right, we're gonna pass Chuck and,
I'm here. I'm sorry.
okay,
Yes.
okay, yes, okay. David Neiman,
Yes.
Susan Tucker,
Yes.
Andrew Chaplin,
Yes.
Evelyn Miller, yes. And the minutes are passed. All right, the next thing on our agenda is the correspondence. There is a long list of correspondence. Does anybody have any questions about any of those correspondence? Didn't think I needed to read all this. And if anybody wanted to look at them, they can come into the town hall.
Or I could scan something and email
All
it.
right. Is there any?
The only,
Yep,
yeah, on the item 10, NHACC 2021 Conservation Commission membership form.
okay,
That came, I believe, with either the invoice or the acknowledgement of the payment.
yeah, do we?
It's really good to fill that out because that's how they keep track of how to send you information. So we
Okay,
should update that every year, and then everybody will get the emails and notices.
okay, good. We'll make sure that's done.
Because a couple of years ago, it was like half of it was inaccurate because nobody had been filling them out. So
Okay, we will make sure that one is done. Is there
Oh,
anything? Yep,
Yeah. Oh,
who's this?
hi, it's Amy. I was, item number 4, I wanted to make sure, are we addressing that? I don't know if David and his group is for conservation to help come up with a mitigation project priority list for the DPW.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is probably the third time this has come up and we never do anything about it other than say, yep, we got to do that. I think either we have to have a special meeting to sit down and do this together with Adam or just incorporate it into the next CC meeting. If the next CC meeting is as short as this, that would work out great.
Okay.
But yeah, it's time to, what we have to do is DPW has to bring to us a list of these are potential projects because we don't know.
Right.
We don't know where the culverts are. We don't know, what needs to be upsized or whatever. But having that list in front of us and reviewing it with Adam, then we can vote on what we think the priorities are. I mean, just like with the item that came up on Elm Street, draining into the lake. We had no idea that pipe was going from the ditch straight into the lake. We need.
Then why don't we send a request to Adam Jacobs that he present a list of projects that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other part of this, which is already being discussed, is we really need to start doing these CC meetings with WebEx because an issue like this, for example, if we're on WebEx, we can see the drawings, we can see the maps, we can see the plans. Calling in over the phone like this just doesn't cut it.
Right.
So there's no way we can have this review unless we're using WebEx.
So I don't think we need to make a vote on WebEx. They're gonna go to WebEx next time, right?
Yeah, well, we can, so you don't need to vote on it.
Yeah.
But it was suggested, and definitely now trying not to have less people together.
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you, David. I think, yes, I think they're definitely planning on our next meeting being a WebEx. Were there any other,
So
yes?
well, I was going to say, shall we wait to see how busy the January meeting shapes up? If we have a slow January meeting, if we're a couple of weeks out from it, we should try to coordinate with Adam. Well, we should probably give him more heads up than that so they can get their list together.
What I'm thinking is, so if he can give us a list in advance, and then we can review it, or are you thinking rather have the list and have it be going through it with him?
As a presentation.
We might be able to, you know what I mean? I don't know if we should get the list in advance and how long it is. It's really hard to know. Is there 100 on there, or is there only 10, and should we, yeah.
I think you should get the list in advance.
I went in February. It's either February or January. I went in and sat down with Adam and Sarah, and it basically it was just like they're looking at me going, "What's the projects be?" I'm looking at them going, "I don't know. Where are the where are the culverts? Where are the conduits?" And they have a lot of information on that, but what they were showing me at the time was not something that you could make any sense of. Here's a map. Here's a culvert. Okay. Well, what about
Okay.
how big is that culvert? How big should that culvert be? Is it meeting the requirement? We need a little more detail than a map with
So
dots
David,
indicating culverts.
so it sounds to me like even though if they present us with the material ahead of time, not the material, but say the list, we really need a presentation to understand what's on that list.
Well, yes, we need a presentation either way. They can send the list ahead of time, and as long as there's enough useful information on it that we can make sense out of it. But we absolutely have to have a presentation and discuss it and discuss the details of that particular site. What are the shortcomings? What are the benefits, et cetera.
Okay, so it sounds.
So
Yes.
Adam is aware of it. He is preparing a list. So we just need to reach out to him and say, by the way, can you put this, front center on your radar and get the list together and get it to us so that we can discuss it as a commission and make recommendations.
Okay, so, let's see, our next meeting will be at the end of.
Yeah, January 27th. I can ask him for that. If not, it might have to be February. What
Okay.
works for him.
So, if you heard that, the next meeting is January 27. We can ask if he can make a presentation or give us a list and then a presentation by then. And if not, then we'll make it the February meeting. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right.
This is Susan Tucker. I have a question because we brought up number 10, David did, the membership form.
Yeah.
Do you want each of us to fill in our information and get it back to Patty, or somebody?
Well,
are we gonna?
there's only one form. We just need somebody to make sure it goes back and lists. All they need is the name of the members
The email.
and their email. That's it.
All right, I'll do
Does
that.
Patty have that information?
Patty has that information. She
Yeah,
said
I
she would
have it,
do
I'll do it.
She will do it.
So Patty will take care of it for us?
Yep, I'll do the names and your email. I'll look at the form and I can, if I have questions, I can email you guys and ask you.
Okay,
And I'll mail it to
as
them.
long as you got,
The other thing we
Okay.
can do is everybody can, after the meeting's over, go to your computer and send Patty your name, your email address, and it does say down here your mailing address, and you could just send her an email with that information on it.
Do you want it to come to your personal, or you want it to come to the town hall? Regarding your address,
We
anyway.
can't send it through an email?
Well, no, I'll give them your email.
Yeah.
Do you want them to have your personal addresses, or do you want it to come to the town hall, is what I'm asking?
Oh, I see, okay. So the question is, would you rather have your address listed as your personal address, or do you want to just have one blanket a mailing address as the town hall?
I don't see.
What'd they say?
I don't see why you wouldn't want to do your own address if there's anything they want to mail you.
All right, then I'll give them all your addresses too.
Because in the past they send out like a card, like for the annual meeting, just a single card.
Okay,
Yeah, if it goes to town hall, the members aren't going to see it.
Right.
yeah, all right.
Okay, then if all of you don't mind, send an email to Patty giving her that information, and then she'll just have it right there to put it.
I have everyone's addresses too.
Okay,
I was gonna say, should have it, yeah.
I have everyone's email addresses and phone numbers.
okay, all right then, I just thought, okay.
so Patty,
I'll
Patty
fill it
has
out.
all the information, we don't have to send her anything. Is that
No,
what
you
you're
don't have to
saying?
send me anything.
Don't send her
Okay.
anything.
I'm
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
And, and,
yep,
and by the way, the NHACC annual meeting this year, of course, was all online over Zoom,
yep,
and it worked spectacularly well. I mean, there were some aspects of it that were actually better.
ah,
Oh.
You didn't have to travel to get there, so it shortened the day. The presentations over Zoom were very clear, and afterwards, you can get a copy of it. If you pay to enroll, you can get a copy recording of any of the sessions, including the ones you couldn't go to because they were at the same time as the one you attended. So that's actually a benefit.
so was it a couple of days or just one day?
There's just one morning.
Ah, okay. My husband just finished a radiology conference, that was the annual radiology conference. It was started on Sunday and ended, at the end of Friday, 8 hours a day. And he didn't have to go to Chicago, but he was really, it was a lot, anyway. Okay,
Okay, can I make okay. I'll
well,
make a motion to adjourn the meeting if we're all done.
no, I think we have one other thing we want to see. David, do you need to make a open space, update?
The update is, and you've probably already all saw the email, that we did receive
Yeah,
the ARM grant that was mentioned in the last minute. So they awarded us the full amount we asked for. So that's great.
that was really great, a very,
And then we did over Thanksgiving weekend. We did a little bit of field work. So Andrew and I and Charlie Bedard and Julie and Steve Grand George, we went out and we walked all the bounds. We found every single corner marker except one. There's still one. Once we get that, we just have a short line segment to mark, but everything else was found, located, and posted with boundary signs.
Oh, great.
That is great.
That's great.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thanks so much, David, that you and the committee is
Well,
terrific.
that was for Page Hill Marsh and all the properties around there.
Okay.
We still have a lot of other areas we need to do.
Right. Okay, well, that does look like we've got the agenda done, and so, Susan, did you say you wanted to make a motion?
Excuse me.
Oh.
I have a question that I would really like to bring up, and I'm sure we won't have an answer today.
Okay, Amy.
But what the town's policy for salting of the roads, and do we have anything where certain areas that are sensitive environments where we don't use just raw salt? And the reason I'm asking is because I recently had my own residential well tested, and the chloride levels are very high. And I know this is concerns in other areas. And we recently had bad weather, as you know, and walking up Page Hill Road, I mean, lots of raw salt just from bottom to top. And it's a question I'm hoping we could talk about or put on the agenda for the next time.
Well, I have a comment, because we have a well right on the corner of Back Mountain Road and Stephen Drive. It's the old farm well there. And they had put the town, a number of years ago, had put signs on either side, because also there's a well, it's an old farmhouse, and the well, there's an outside well right against the road, and then there's one that's in the basement of the house, but it's all within 10 or 15 feet from the road. So they put signs up that said low salt usage, and I swear the piles of salt getting dumped at that corner are even bigger than they used to be. The truck stops and the thing is just whirling away, and it just,
I think that's more of an issue for the select board, though, regarding the
Okay.
use of the salt on the roads.
okay. So Patty,
So as an environmental concern, though, too, where I live, there's a perennial that like drains into the lake. I have no idea if there's active testing in our water bodies for water quality outside of milfoil and things like that. But chloride levels are a concern, and certainly as we've been in a drought, it's they can get more concentrated. So I do feel like it is part under our charter as a conservation commission. That's something we, like I said, could put on maybe future agenda. But do we offer any other alternative, or do they only use salt for every road in town? Because there are other alternative products.
so let's ask Collis. Collis, is this an issue that goes straight to the selectmen to deliberate over, or is there a policy, or what?
Well, I think if there's a concern about salt storage, I heard something about a salt pile and the location of the salt pile. Is that a town salt pile?
No, Collis, her concern is the salting of the roads and contamination of wells that are not far from the road, and then perennial water. That's her
Well, I think
concern.
I heard Amy say something, she's concerned about a salt pile.
No, what it is the well is right next to the road, and but it's at an intersection, and when the truck stops, the salt just dumps right out of the back end. It's like yeah.
Yeah. So the over application when the truck stops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to talk to DPW about. If we've got concerns about it. I don't know what we can do about it other than engage in some conversations with them to see if they can modify how they apply the salt. I know they've taken great steps in the last few years to cut back on salt applications and develop programs and protocols for programming the salt salt spreaders to make sure that they aren't spreading more than they're supposed to be doing. But certainly I think if we're going to need to go there, we ought to engage DPW on that.
Can I have a suggestion? Amy, can you email me your concern, and I will forward it to the town administrator and to the public works director for them to address, and then we can see their response and And that way,
Okay.
everyone, all the parties will be aware of it.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
a good way
sounds
to,
good.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we're going to be meeting with Adam in either January or February, that's a great time to discuss it.
To bring it up, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, David.
Good, okay, then Amy has a job, and that's good. Okay, anything else before we take a motion to adjourn? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? Susan?
So move.
Okay. Okay, second?
I'll
Oh.
second it, Jean.
Okay, Jean. All right, we're gonna have to roll call. Jean Walker,
Yes.
Amy Polak,
Yes.
Chuck Freiberger,
yes.
okay, David Neiman,
Yes.
Susan Tucker,
Yes.
Andrew Chaplin,
Yes.
and Evelyn Miller, yes. So, thank you very much. The meeting is now adjourned.